started this YouTube channel in 2021 and I have filmed a lot of vlogs since my first one, which was really bad. Welcome to a vlog. It's my first vlog, so I'm getting used to it a little bit. I've learned a lot over those almost 3 years now, and today I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I have learned. Before diving into how I actually film my videos, I do want to dive into my camera settings because this is something that has changed the game for me when it comes to vlogging. Actually using my camera to its fullest extent has made the biggest difference in my videos. So we're gonna go ahead and switch to my phone real quick. So sorry for the camera quality drop. So the very first thing you want to make sure that you are doing is actually filming in manual. When I first started filming, I always filmed in auto. That's great for beginners, but if you want to get the most out of your camera, make sure that you are filming in manual. Then you want to decide on your frame rate. Now, I used to think the bigger the better. I would film in like 60 frames per second, and I thought that was the best thing ever. But no, you want to decide based on what you want your footage to look like. So 60 frames per second is going to be perfect for slow motion. There's tons of detail, lots and lots of frames, and you don't have to worry about losing anything if you go into slow motion. But the files are going to be really, really big and it's going to be annoying to edit. 30 frames per second is great if you want a really realistic look to your footage. This is what like live broadcasts are filmed in. This is what TV is filmed in a lot of times. But if you want something that looks a little bit more cinematic, you're going to film in 24 frames per second. This is the only thing that I ever film in now. It gives a little bit of like a softer edge to your footage. And it's what makes like the light look all glowy and pretty. And this is what most movies are filmed in. And I will say that I do also have the option of filming in 4K. I don't do that because as you can tell, it crops my footage a lot and I just don't want cropped footage. And the files are really, really hard to deal with in editing. So for now, I'm just gonna stick with my HD 24 frames per second. The next thing that you want to decide on, and this is easy to decide on because it's always the same rule, is your shutter speed. You want your shutter speed to be double your frame rate, always. Do not move from this. This is perfect. Stay on this at all times. As for your aperture, I personally like to keep this as low as possible. If you go up, first of all, it gets really, really dark. And second of all, it will make it so that the background is more in focus along with your subject. The lower the aperture, the more you're going to get that nice blurry look, which my lens is quite small, so I don't have the most amazing blurry backgrounds in the world, but I like to keep it as low as possible. So I have mine set at 3.5, which is as low as my lens will allow it to go. Next up, you have your ISO settings. This is just going to be how much light you have in your footage. Me personally, I like to keep this between 400 and 100, just because if you get up much more than that, the footage kind of starts to break down and not look as good. So most of the time, unless I'm in extremely low light settings, I will keep it between 400 and 100. I don't like to have it on auto because then it like changes in the middle of clips. So we'll set that back to 100. And then the only other thing that I really play with is white balance. I normally will have this set on auto, but every now and then I do, depending on the circumstances, like to go and set it myself just because I do like a little bit more of a warm tone footage. But most of the time I keep this on auto and then I will go and post and kind of add my own settings and filters to it. So to recap, my settings are 24 frames per second. My shutter speed is at 50. My aperture is set as low as it will go, and my ISO and white balance settings are based on whatever clip I am filming. Now that you have your camera settings in order, it's time to actually start filming your video. And I'm gonna talk about B-roll for a little bit because that personally is my favorite part of vlogging, is capturing nice B-roll footage. And the main thing that I have changed in my vlogging strategy with this is just getting lots and lots of different angles from different distances. I feel like when I first started filming, I really was filming a lot in kind of like the middle ground. Like every single shot that I took was, my camera was about this far away from me in every single shot. But something that I've learned recently is to just pull back to give your audience some perspective and then pull back in and give them the close details and then pull out to a medium shot to kind of just give them a little bit of context of what's going on, and just constantly changing those angles as you move through your scene. So for me, I'm about to make some coffee coffee and I'm gonna film it. And I'm gonna start my shot with this nice wide angle shot to give you context of I'm in the kitchen, this is what we're doing. And then I'm gonna pull in on probably me grabbing the coffee out of the cabinet, just to give you a little bit more detail, a little bit more like you're in the scene. And with each different step of me making coffee, I'm going to be changing the angles and switching up the distance that the camera is from me. Okay, so I decided that it's way too dark in here, so I'm going to actually move my camera and get a clip of me opening up the blinds. Now, you will notice that I am going very step by step. Every single different step, I'm filming a different angle. If you are filming for a very short period of your day, that is probably going to be the strategy you're going to want to use, because you're going to want to go into more detail of every single one of the little things that you're doing. In those cases, it is important to take transition things. So, for example, if you had your morning routine, you filmed all of the little steps of your morning routine, you want to make sure that you have some sort of footage of you either walking into work after your morning routine or driving to work, something like that, in order to tell the story of what is happening. So you need those transition scenes to be able to bring your viewer along and have them understand what is actually going on instead of just jumping from thing to thing to thing. Have those transition things so it makes sense as to what is going on. If you are like me, the hardest part about filming videos is the talking part. I love getting B-roll shots. I love being creative with that, but sometimes for me, I'm like, what the hell do I talk about? My days are boring. I do the same thing every day. How in the world do I make videos interesting? And honestly, if y'all got some tips for that, let me know, because I'm still trying to figure it out. But some things that I have figured out are choose a theme for each one of your vlogs. So whether that be healthy habits that I do on a daily basis, or I'm doing 75 hard right now, so I've been doing a lot of themed videos around 75 hard, or a work week in my life, balancing work and life, what I eat in a week videos, or foods that I cook in a week videos, something like that. Choose a theme so that you have specific things that you know I'm going to talk about in general, this specific topic. I think it can also be really, really helpful to actually kind of like bullet point out your video. So if you're filming a few days in your life, just bullet point out different activities you're going to be doing, different things that you want to talk about within those videos. Yes, allow yourself to kind of, if you're feeling a certain way on a certain day and you're vlogging, feel free to talk about that in your video. You don't have to stick to a script. I also would really encourage you, if you are starting out, to try to be as concise as possible. I think that everyone's vlogging style is a little bit different, but I think that the more concise you are and the more you split talking up within your videos with B-roll clips in between, or just moving the camera around as you're talking, the more engaged your audience is going to be and the higher your view retention is going to be, which is going to keep people coming back to your channel, going to keep YouTube pushing your videos out. And in general, you're going to do a little bit better on YouTube if you keep things a little bit more concise. And I will also mention, you can edit a lot of your rambling out. Do not be afraid to chop the heck out of your footage in editing. Also, just vlog when you have things going on. Like if you are planning on spending the entire day editing, doing computer work, and you have nothing going on that day, maybe consider not vlogging that day. Choose days where you have things going on. Save errands and activities and tasks for specific days. Okay, I can promise you, if someone is filming a productive day in their life, they have saved tasks for that day, and every other day does not look like that day. So save things, know what you're gonna do on specific days, schedule out your weeks so that you know I'm filming on this day and I'm saving all of my interesting tasks for that day. And before you start overthinking everything and go and watch another one of these videos, I want you to know that people are gonna stick around for your personality, not for the way that you film your vlogs. If you show your personality within your videos, people are going to be so much more likely to stick around. Yes, you do have to think strategically about your titles and thumbnails and keep videos engaging and keep things moving, but if you're not showing your personality and you're doing all of those things perfectly, you are not going to grow a subscriber base, because people are going to leave because they don't know the real you. And just keep being consistent, because I promise you guys, my first video was so bad, and the video after that was so bad, and the video after that was so bad. And it took a really, really long time to get to where I am, and I have so much further to go. But you are never gonna get there, and you're never gonna be good at vlogging or filming anything unless you actually put in the reps and make the videos. If you have a small YouTube channel, please comment down below and let me know. I would love to check it out, especially if it's in kind of the same genre and niche as me. Also, I am starting a little YouTube Discord channel for any small YouTubers who are wanting to grow and learn together. Having community here on YouTube has been absolutely the most important thing for me growing my channel. So I would love to have a little bit of community within my channel and starting this Discord. So there will be a link in the description to join that Discord. I do want it to be a really, really safe space for people to grow and learn together. So make sure that you read kind of the description of it and the rules and whatnot for joining. So with that, I will see you guys in the next one.